coming out from his nose. It's organic.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 horror film Hellhole. The film is co-written and directed by John Adams and Toby Poser, and it stars Olivier Puranik. We have John Adams, Anders Hove, Boris Lukeman and Toby Poser. Right, okay, this film follows an American-led fracking crew that are based in Serbia doing what they do, and they uncover a French soldier from like 150 years ago, something like that, in the ground, but he actually is alive, which doesn't make any sense at all. He keeps asking them to kill him. As it turns out, he's got some kind of parasitic monster inside him that has been keeping him alive underground all these years. It gets out, starts infecting this fracking crew, and then all chaos breaks loose as they all try and figure out what's going on and how to survive. Right, what are my thoughts on Hellhole? Well, fairly soon into watching this, I got serious John Carpenter's The Thing vibes crossed with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You know, it's got that kind of vibe going on in it. Unfortunately, it falls massively short of both those ideas, films and concepts. But it's not without some redeemable features, this film. It is certainly quite watchable. There's an odd layer of dark humour that runs through it that actually suits the film quite well. And in actual fact, there's one character in the film, Emily. I think it's played by Toby. She's played by Toby Poser, who's like the head of the fracking crew. And she's got like this really weird, dry sense of humour that, you know, works. And it's the kind of sense of humour you would expect, like, one of these crews to have, because in reality, you know, these crews would probably be ripping the piss out of each other constantly. And that's kind of how it is. It's a cross between American workers and Serbian workers. And initially they're all getting on, sort of thing. And then it tries very hard to be the Thing in a sense of there's this distrust that develops between them all, in a sense of, you know, who's this creature. But the problem this film has, there's never really a secret as to who this creature is, because when it's inside them, they know it's inside them. So everybody, for some reason, bleats out that it's inside them. So you always know generally who is this, who has this creature inside them. There is one surprise near the end that, well, I suppose when you put the jigsaw pieces together, it kind of makes sense. But beyond that, everybody who has this creature, and it's like a parasite, if you like. It's once it's kind of done with this body, or if that body's killed, it kind of explodes in a sea of blood and guts, and then goes to the next host. And one of the, I don't know, quirks of this film is it goes up through your bum. But not just that, because you see it go down the mouth as well on some of them. So, I mean, you know, the trailer suggests that it's just up the jacksie, so to speak, but it isn't. And they don't really play on that concept massively in the film. So there is a lot of potential here. There's a lot of blood and gore in this thing, but ultimately it's not scary. And for the vast majority of this film, you get these workers, if you like, debating and arguing amongst themselves. Now that works if you've got the right script, the right dialogue, the right actors, and the right environment, such as The Thing. You know, there's a lot of dialogue in that film. There's a lot of character interactions in that film. But the music, the way it's filmed, and that absolute fear that this thing could be anybody, all percolates underneath all that to add, you know, to make all those scenes work. And you're invested in those characters. And you don't really get any of that here. There's only a couple of characters here that I cared about at all. And even then, you know what I mean? I could take it or leave it. They don't really give you a reason to buy into these characters. And they don't give you enough of this parasite stroke monster for you to kind of have this real fear of it. Because you don't see it enough. And some of the times you do see it, they almost make it like comedic, I suppose, and that kind of affects the tone of the film. When the dark comedy works in this film, it's usually from, you know, characters, mainly this Emily character, the leader, you know, giving like out dry humour, that sort of thing, and that feels real and genuine. When they're larking about in the woods with this creature chasing them, and this creature running about like it's, I don't know, something from a Jim Henson production, it just doesn't work. You don't get that fear factor of it kind of zoning in and thinking that character's next, it's going to get them, oh no, sort of thing. So you don't get that feeling of tension or fear or horror. And the only real horror aspects of this film is the blood and gore. And the human elements of this film, the distrust and stuff, aren't done well enough for it to work. There was one situation where one character who is infected with this parasite knows he's infected, he wants to die, keeps asking everyone to kill him, and they're like, no, we'll find another way, blah, 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 blah. And for that 10 minutes or so, I was invested, and I'm thinking, right, okay, I quite like this character. I don't really want him to get it. I don't want him to die. What's the answer here, sort of thing. And it you know, it felt like it was turning a corner for me, but it kind of went nowhere. And that's a shame. So I do think there's a film in here somewhere. There are some fun elements to this film. It's not a bad film. The concept is sound. The idea's good. The gore and the blood's pretty good. The acting's all very good, sort of thing. I don't have an issue with any of that side of thing. It's just it fails to deliver in too many areas for me to like strongly recommend it or anything. So yeah, let me know if you've seen Hellhole and your thoughts on the film, and I will of course be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.